everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm so excited. We are here with two of our brand ambassadors. Hey ladies. Hey. So we're here with the lovely Mykia and the lovely Alicea.
Hi.
So this is our first time having y'all on camera. So can y'all just, tell us a little bit about yourselves, why you bought a home?
Okay, well, I'm Alicea. I am now a homeowner in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Originally from Columbia, Maryland, Howard County.
Yeah.
And I bought a home because, well, I bought a home because I was tired of living with roommates. I was paying crazy money in rent for DC. And then when I thought about what I wanted to do in my next projection of my 10 years, where I wanted to be, and everything kind of came down to, I work in DC, I spend most of my time in DC, I'm investing in DC. Why not be able to vote in DC? Why not be able to stay in my community in DC?
Yeah.
And with everything going on in politics, everything going on in gentrification, how do I keep like faces in our capital? And so I said, you know what? Let me get on up and mark my spot, and you can't move me. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Oh, good. I love to hear that. Thank you.
So I'm Mykia. I'm from Washington, D.C. I currently live in Maryland, Charles County. I lived in Waldorf for the past 10 years since high school. So when purchasing a home, I wanted to go back to my roots, and I said, no, I feel comfortable in Waldorf. I've been doing the commute for this long, so why switch it up now? I thought long term with purchasing a home, what do I want to raise a family? Like, I'm 25, so in the next 5 to 7 years, I want to have like a kid, so I thought about like schools and just a little bit longer term. So I was like, Waldorf is where I'm gonna settle. So I did that, purchased my home. My mom lives 10 minutes away, so that's perfect.
That is mine.
Yeah.
Down the street.
Yeah. My dad lives maybe like 15 minutes away, so both of my parents are fairly close. So if I ever need them, they're right there. I want to say this is my first time living alone, other than living in college. So it was definitely a big transition. From college, I moved back home for 2.5 years, and I was just like, it's time.
Yeah,
like,
same, girl.
I couldn't do it no longer. I was just clashing with my siblings, with my parents, and I was like, okay, it's an uncomfortable space. Let me just do it.
Yeah.
And just kind of jumped, and it worked out.
So, do you want us to pause or keep going?
You keep going.
Okay. So were y'all scared? Like, I know we all wanted to buy a home, right? You wanted to be in your community, you wanted to invest, you were ready to just GTF.
Yes.
But were y'all scared? Like, was it such a far-fetched thought, like, you know what I'm saying, to own something, especially in the DMV, is so expensive here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, for me, I was like shaking at the knees once I called my realtor. I was like, hey, look, like, we're on board, start giving me a rap sheet, let's look at it. And so, I mean, when you're first, I like used to call it shopping for houses, when you're first looking in there, you're looking at everything, the neighborhood, the aesthetics. And then in DC, again, I'm walking through neighborhoods that I don't see black people anymore.
Right.
So the nervousness for me was like, oh my God, like, 1, I know I'm young. 2, I know I'm about to live by myself. And then 3, I'm in a neighborhood where nobody looks like me.
Yeah.
And that was like a culture shock, even though DC is founded by black people, made on the backs of black people. I don't want to make this sound like...
No, girl, go there. Take it there.
But, I mean, when you see it and how everything is literally shifting and how really the most affordable places are in your underdeveloped areas, like in Southeast. Yeah. And they're still pushing us away, even outside of our home. It just made 0 sense to me, and it was crazy. And then came in the nervousness of, okay, how much am I really about to invest? Like, you're seeing the prices, you're seeing what comes with a $100,000 house, what comes to a 3, 4, and it's like, what can you really afford? You still going back, okay, what debts do I still have?
Yeah, right. And that's like somebody who just graduated college, you hear $200,000, you're like, what?
Who can afford that?
Who can afford that? Like, I can't even afford a fraction of that. Right. So that's why I think it's important to talk about the fear, especially financially, and how we got over it, to let other people know they can too.
Right.
Don't be like, get that sticker price shock, you know what I'm saying, when you see the price.
It goes deeper than the price. You gotta think, it's so many other things to factor in, you know? So I, of course, nervous about just taking a leap, but I mean, you won't know unless you try.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the thing that I kept in my head, like, God didn't bring me this far to like leave me here, or like, you know, I'm not gonna be stuck. If all else fails, I can always go back. I'm not gonna want to go back, but I could. So I mean, at least I can say I tried. So that's just kind of the mindset that I tried to keep throughout the whole process.
So when y'all made up y'all minds that you wanted to move and you kind of got over the fear, how was it like saving up towards that? Because, you know, we're millennials. We got student debt. We like to go to brunch. We like to go on vacation and take photo shoots. You know, we like all of it. So what was that saving process for y'all like?
I had to just start saying no. Because I had to keep that goal in my head. Like, I remember one time I changed my lock screen on my phone. Like, okay, this is what I gotta do. Because sometimes I forget the goal. Like, I just forget quick. You say brunch, I'll be like, okay, cool. So I just had to keep that goal at the forefront of my mind. I had to start saying no. Like, I can't make it this weekend, but I'm gonna come to your birthday. You just gotta decide. You just gotta factor out what's important and what's just, you know, not really priority right now.
I would definitely say prioritization and really like knowing your goal and do everything with the end in mind. So it was a lot of sacrifice. It was a lot of, I mean, to be completely honest, am I going to buy groceries this week, or am I going to wait till my next payroll? What can give? What do I actually need to have? And so, like you said, going traveling and doing all these things, I have never said no as much as I did in that quick almost year of me deciding to closing. It was a lot of sacrifice, time with my family, time taking off work. I mean, the whole nine. The whole nine.
It still doesn't change
though. No.
Now that you have a house, I still have to say no.
I still say you say no more now.
It's more no's now than it's ever been.
Oh, you really gotta think about it. Like at first when I was living at home, I didn't really think too much. You say, oh, let's go to Atlanta this weekend. I'm like, oh, cool.
Right.
Now I'm like, ooh, I'll let you know.
Or just come through the crib. Bring a bottle
of
house
functions.
Lots of house functions. I say the same. Like, it took me a solid year from the moment I wanted to like pursue home ownership to closing, and during that time I was scared too. I would see the prices and I was like, how in the world am I going to afford this? And then, you know, once you start shopping around, you get excited, right? And then it's like, okay, I could do this. But during that time, it was a lot of saying no. It was a lot of staying in the house. It was a lot of just like Friday nights, Netflix and chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Make it work, but it's all for the end goal. You got to keep that in mind. Like, you got to keep that in mind. Okay, back. So now I want to get a little bit more deeper. Not like OC, but I just want to talk about what does it mean as a black woman for y'all to own property? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me and my family, the black women in my family own homes. Like, I saw my stepmom buy a home, I saw my mom buy a home, and they were like the foundation. They were the ones making the bread, bringing home the bacon, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like, I'm being an extension of them. I'm trying to be my parents. Like, I'm trying to show them the return on their investment, if you will. And then deeper than that, I just feel like this country was built on the backs of black people, where we were perceived as property, and now we get to own property. Like, that's lit to me. But being able to do this by myself as a black woman, single millennial, it's everything. And I want to always portray to people it's not about the transaction. It's like deeper than that. So I know I'm rambling, but I just want to get your thoughts.
It's all true. It's all true. Did you want to?
I would say mine is very similar. My mom owns multiple like income properties. Yeah, my mom owns maybe like 3 properties. My dad has owned like apartment buildings in DC, and he owns other properties too. So it's kind of what I saw growing up. Like, I remember being a kid, being in the car. I gotta go sit in the car while they go in and deal with their tenants. And so it's always been like a thing. I've always saw it, and then like you said, just a return on your investment. Like, I'm not gonna let you down. I'm gonna be smart with my money. I'm gonna wait it out until it's time, and I just feel like timing is everything. So when it's your time, it's gonna be your time. So it worked out. I seen my aunts own homes, my grandparents own homes.
So you gotta earn it.
Yeah. So
that's not a lot of minorities people's situation.
Right.
So that's a blessing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like I kind of saw that it was possible, and I was just like, okay,
yeah,
this is gonna be for me.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, for me, I guess strumming back to how alike you are to your ancestors, to your parents. My mom owned her first home around the same time. I think her first one was around 23, 24.
Okay.
And for me, I didn't know this until after I bought the house, of course, but just to be on a proven path, you take everything into consideration, your family struggles, your struggles, how blessed you are to get an education, to have a job. How do you, like you said, return all that sacrifice that they've put into you back to them and back to the community? And I think investment, one, is one of those things, but two, like keeping your ground and being able to, I guess, make it happen for yourself, especially as a young woman, a young Black woman. For me, it was one of those things where it's like, Alicea, you second guess yourself all the time.
Yeah.
You have everybody else looking at you, second guessing yourself. They're holding you accountable. Let me hold myself accountable. Let me make this decision as a stepping stool, you know, to other investments. So, and that's huge, I feel.
Yes.
That's a word.
Because it's hard out here.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's hard. But I feel like the moment I closed, girl came in here, I just laid on the floor for like 2 hours, just laid. And I was like, I can really do anything. I can really do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a woman, to accomplish this, I don't need my husband. I don't need to tap in my 401k. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no sugar daddy. No. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Made it. And so it just gives you that fuel that you can do whatever other dreams you want to do. And I think that's another thing I want to like relate to other people. And that's why we have our lovely, you know, brand ambassadors, because y'all did it too.
Right.
Like, this is one of many goals I foresee us accomplishing in our adulthood.
For sure.
So what are some things that y'all would tell people watching this? Like, if you were at Hampton and you're doing watching this, or, you know, just in undergrad watching this, like, what are some messaging you would give to your younger self, you know, about being Black, being a woman, you know, and pursuing your dreams, especially pursuing homeownership?
I would just say to my younger self that it's possible. Like, nothing's impossible until you do it. Like, you can do it, you just have to sacrifice. And if you're willing to make those sacrifices, it's going to work out in your favor.
Yeah.
I say the same thing. It's more of like a yes, you can. It's a lot of forward thinking. Be diligent. And if you're serious, be serious. Let everything you do, like I said, meet that goal. Start saving. Like, for me, myself, I have 2 savings accounts. I got a savings, like the one that just stays in your bank that saves. But then I also have a saving account where it's for something. You know, like all of that, not just a percentage of it, all of it's going to my next goal, whether it is a home, whether it's a business, whether it's a car. You know those things and really put them on a list, a visual list, and post it, because the more you see it, the more you're reminded of it. I'd also say, I guess, be around people who are going to support you in this issue, or in anything that you do. A lot for me, it gets overwhelming at times. And for the beginning of it, from the numbers to running your credit over and over again, to having people really asking you, why are you doing this? Hold your truth, because that's going to really stick it out. Have in the back of your mind, like, I'm doing this. Yes, I can do this. And like I said, really have a good group of support around you that are going to uplift you, that are going to walk with you, go see places with you, you know, keep you in line. So when you feel like you're going to fall, when you feel like everything is going to crash, when you don't get that house, when you know, come in too low, just know that there is always going to be a better tomorrow. not everything is 100% set in stone, and when you have that goal in mind, you cherish it because it will come true. And I mean that. Yeah. It will come true.
Girl. To add on to that, I would say to do your own research too, because you can't listen to what everybody else says, because each situation is different. I learned that time and time again. Like, I can't always go with what my mom says. I can't always listen to what my grandma says, because they purchased homes years ago. Right. They don't know what's going on now. So do your own research. You can never know too much. Like, the bank teller could tell you one thing. Just look into it yourself. Get, a second opinion. Do your own research. That's a major key in the home buying process. Yes. You gotta read.
Yes. I echo both of what y'all are saying. I feel like when I first wanted to buy a home, I only told like 3 people, because you really do have to protect your dreams. Yes. Even when I wanted to start Miss Young Homeowner, nobody got it. I didn't even know if I got it, but I only told like 2 people. You really have to protect your vision, because everyone's not going to get it, and you don't want to be deterred just from somebody's own insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Just because you never did nothing. Absolutely. Don't project that on me. Right. Stay over there. Negative self.
Right. Ditto. There was a lot of Alicea, like, are you sure you want to buy? It's not a good time to buy. Like, they know the stock. Oh my God, your house is gonna go down. It's not a good time to buy right now. Why are you why do you want to stay in this neighborhood? Yeah. Don't you know that, whatever it is, crime may be around the corner, the market may crash. Yes. And yes, all of those things are important to put in consideration. But like you said, when you do your research, you have a good team behind you that are doing their due diligence, making sure that you're making the right decisions. I think you're good to go.
Yeah, real estate is one of those things that I mean, nothing's recession proof, but when it comes to like building multiple streams of income, we all know real estate is one of the main ways to build that generational wealth. So for those who might be watching who are in college, like whether you're a junior or a senior, just start saving. Whether you have a credit card or you don't, maybe start with a secured debit card to start building up your credit. And then once you like graduate and get full-time employment, maybe transition that to a credit card. Start building your credit, start building your savings. Every time you get paid, pay yourself first. You might not want to buy a home, but I can guarantee you, for those who are in college, you're not going to want to go back home like immediately. I did. Ain't no shame in it. Absolutely. But just save, you know what I'm saying, and have foresight. Don't be so consumed in the moment. Always be a visionary and think about your step 4, step 5, step 6, even though it might look bleak now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are sitting here, we all went to school, some of us have student loans, some of us came from people, like families who never bought homes, but we're sitting here to prove that you can do it.
Yes.
You can do it. So transitioning. How has it been since y'all bought y'all house? Like, what are some of the things that are occurring that nobody warned you about or told you about, and you're like, wow, I wish somebody would have gave you a heads up?
For me, there's like a lot of little things. Yes. Nobody told me the importance of really registering all of your home appliances for their warranty. There's something that will go wrong. You will have the best home inspection and it will be spick and span. I kid you not, 2 weeks I moved into my condo. I'm starting to get cracks in my wall. I'm starting to get like my refrigerator is making like a running. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, it's brand new. It still has the plastic on it. So really like stay aware of the upkeep of your house or your home. And then also for me, it was, how do you make it a home? Because it's just the stature. How do you make it you? And trying to define yourself as a woman, as a homeowner, as a millennial. What parts and aspects of you can you put aesthetically? How do you mirror yourself in an aesthetic form? I'm having issues with colorism and trying to, one day I'll like abstract art, the next day I'll like, a whole bunch of colors. I don't think, I don't consider myself a super girly girl, but I'm starting to look at pinks now. And I'm starting to look at purples, and it's like, okay, do I need vegetation? And it's like trying to balance everything that you see like in Architectural Digest, what you see on Instagram, when you're swiping through Pinterest, you have all these ideas. It's so much. And so I really like taking my time to figure exactly what that is out. You know, I am grateful that I didn't rush into all of that because it always changes, you know, and when the sales go up, you know, that's what I'm really waiting for. So leading into 2020, one of my goals is really just to put more effort into defining myself, defining my home, and figuring out what that actually is.
Girl, my place is brand new. Not anymore, but you know, when I moved in, and I've had appliances break. I had my roof leak. I've had a pipe leak. It's just been like, it's always something. And I swear it's every month. It's varying levels of stress. Sometimes it's like something I could just go to Home Depot and fix. Other times it's like, no, I have to call. I gotta take off work. I gotta so, oh my God, just understanding the maintenance and expecting things to break, because it will. That's something I wasn't prepared for.
Saving for a home it goes far beyond the closing table. It goes far beyond. You always just gonna have to save for a rainy day, because it's going to be something. Just like you said, like 2 weeks into your home. So my situation is a little different. I bought like a foreclosure home, so it wasn't a new construction. So I put work into my home, but still, it's just always going to be something. There's going to be a leaky sink. There's going to be an appliance that's just not working all of a sudden. So you just have to have some money set to the side. Sometimes you got to get down. You got to figure it out yourself. It's been plenty of things that I had to figure out myself. I'm like, no, I can figure this out. I can maybe put something on that sink to try to make it work. So,
and that just adds to the more empowering part of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're problem solvers. We make it work. We fix problems beyond, you know, like we have this extra responsibility and we're making it work, you know? So I specifically remember like being weeks away from closing, and I had to get a new lender all of a sudden. Like, I found out my old lender was kind of fraudulent, actually. It was like a whole dramatic ordeal. At that moment, I remember like crying, like, this is not going to work. God's told me I just need to stay at my parents' house. One of my coworkers had offered us to live in Arlington and just be, you know, roommates in an apartment. I was like, let me just do that. And then it's just, for me, it's just always finishing what you started. Like, I feel like that is a huge display of someone's character. And additionally, just wanting to make my parents proud is always my end goal. Just wanting to show them that your investments, your time did not go to waste. It's not in vain. Like, my mom bought a home, single mom, she made it work, Capitol Heights. Like, I saw you, sis. I'm trying to do the same thing, you know? So for me, when times got hard, you really do have to have something to anchor you to the end goal, like the bigger picture, which is with everything, not just buying a home, but everything, you know what I'm saying? Nothing's going to be flawless. So
that's the truth.
I think what really kept me going throughout the entire process, and even now, is the fact that you or me can really, when you put your mind to the test, and when you have the devil literally on your shoulders telling you no, creating problems in your community, driving the country a wreck. It's like, you really have to do it for yourself, and really being selfless in that. You do it for you, don't listen to anybody else, you know. And I think that along with making my parents proud, it was a lot of self-worth. You know, Alicea, who are you if you don't stick up to your own word, you know? And I didn't want to see myself fail. I didn't want to let anybody else down that are rooting for me. And it's like that little mind in your voice, like, Alicea, he's testing you right now, you know, right now, because I got my home off of grant fees. So for me to go through that application, the fact that I didn't have to put down my own money, I had to be in competition to win it. And it was a first home buying program. So not to go off topic, but I'm literally being interviewed and for other home buyers. And there was a range from 6-year-olds that's never gotten a home to a small amount of millennials having a home, but for Black people, I was sixth in line in a 3-day interview, and everybody before me was of a different race.
Wow.
Everybody before me was a different race, and there were very minimal women in that line. So I say all that to say, really, what kept me going was myself. Being able to hold myself accountable, being able to respect my word, being able to look in the mirror and know that I'm doing this for me, by me, with me, and I am that little voice in my head.
Oh, girl, I get me chills. So empowering. I love it.
I would say one thing that kept me going was just knowing that something's gonna be mine. Like, it's mine. I did this. I didn't have my boyfriend's help. I didn't have a husband.
Did you say boyfriend?
No, my boyfriend. No, just knowing that
don't
it's
tell her it's not
not boyfriends. Like a boyfriend, or like nobody else's investment. Like, it's mine. It was my money. It was my grind. It was it's mine. And just knowing that you could like walk in the doors to something that's yours, that no one can take away from you. Like, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they're still gonna be mine.
You can kick people out.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's walking through your front desk unless they're invited or crazy.
It's crazy. So it's all worth it in the end.
Yes.
It's all worth it.
Well worth it.
Yes. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here and imparting your wisdom. If we could just touch one person out there and, change their mind about ownership, even if they've never seen no one in their family do it, right? Like, the fact that you could look at us and hopefully inspire someone. So, can y'all tell the people where they can find you on social media?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram, Alicea Marie with 2 E's, one word, Alicea Marie.
You can follow me on Instagram, Mykia B, and also on YouTube, Mykia B.
Yes, and of course, to follow us at Miss Young Homeowner on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and we'll see you next time.